Anybody who is committed to the party, is loyal to the party, will do whatever the party requires to ensure that the party succeeds.
Party supremacy is of utmost essence.
APC screens its presidential hopefuls ahead of June 6 special convention.
He's entitled to bail. If he's served and he didn't appear, the court will issue a warrant for his arrest, but he was not served.
One aspirant is undergoing another kind of examination as EFCC arranged over the routers of Abuja and others for fraud.
From the commission, you can see that we are leaving no stone unturned in order to be ready for the election.
INEC gets set for Ekiti governorship election with mock accreditation exercise. Welcome to 88 Network News. I am Kene Ima and we are reaching you live from Abuja. Michael Olaleye is standing by to join us from Lagos. You can follow this news broadcast live on our website nta.ng/live and all our social media platforms displayed on the screen for updates. Let's kick off with politics as the All Progressives Congress has commenced screening of its presidential aspirants ahead of this June 6th presidential primary. Already 12 out of the 23 aspirants have appeared before the Presidential Screening Committee at Transcorp Hilton in Abuja. Saliu Gwanara reports.
Screening is a critical and unavoidable pre-election process for aspirants seeking elective offices. Having concluded the screening of governorship, National Assembly and State Houses of Assembly aspirants, the All Progressives Congress is using the additional days provided by the Electoral Umpire, the Independent National Electoral Commission, to do same for its presidential aspirants. Exactly 1 week with the APC Special Convention and Presidential Primary, the screening exercise is behind closed doors, but some of the aspirants shared their experiences.
Party supremacy is of utmost essence. You cannot force your way through a party structure.
And to be a very strict party member, you must abide by the party's rules and regulations. And I told them that anything that the party can do for us to serve Nigeria better, retaining power and then improving on the things that we have done, giving them a new means of life, that I'm for it.
They say charity begins at home. I will never be a problem to my party.
We're here to work with the party. Whoever emerges as the candidate, I believe we'll be able to rally around and work with the party.
Anybody who is committed to the party, is loyal to the party, will do whatever the party requires to ensure that the party succeeds.
As loyal partymen, they expressed willingness to obey the party's position on the mode of primary election that will be adopted. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
A former governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, has emerged the presidential candidate of the Labour Party. His emergence as the party's standard bearer followed his victory at the presidential primaries of Labour Party held in Asaba, the Delta State capital. Tacy Coker reports.
A total of 104 delegates were accredited to vote in the exercise to elect one of 4 aspirants to be the standard bearer of the party in the 2023 general election. However, all co-contenders, Professor Pat Otomi, Emmanuel Tella Olabusola, and Faduri Oluwadare, stepped down for Peter Obi. Pulled 96 votes to emerge the party's candidate. The Nigerian Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress were on grounds to lend their support. The Labour Party chieftain believes in a level playing ground for members. The exercise was adjudged peaceful and credible. In Asaba, Tacy Coker, NTA News.
And still talking politics, let's now join our political correspondent Charles Alpha at the venue of the Action Democratic Congress presidential primary. Hello, Charles.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. What is the situation at International Women's Center as regards to the APC presidential convention?
Okay, now nothing much seems to be happening at the International Women's Center here in Abuja, where the second national convention of the Action Democratic Party is built to hold. 8 p.m. was the time that was announced for this convention to take place, but as it is right now, nothing much seems to be happening, although delegates are coming in, some of them, are around. If you look right behind me, you'll see some persons, at the venue here, but nothing much seems to be happening. Reliably, I have been told that the screening committee that was set up yesterday by the Action Democratic Party to screen aspirants actually screened about 3 aspirants at the APC Secretariat earlier today, and from that screening, the 3 aspirants that are supposed to contest, for this ticket here today, were sliced down to 1. One person was screened and cleared, and his engineer Yabagi Yusuf, and the other 2 were the party said did not meet the minimum requirements, and so that's what it is right now. And reliably, I've also been told that about 2,000 delegates are expected, at the International Women's Center at this convention here today, cutting across the 774 local government areas that we have. And I have also been told that because of the development, one presidential candidate that has been screened, the mode of election here is going to be consensus, kind of. And may I also say, Ekene, that at the end of the convention here today, the National Executive Council will emerge at the end of this convention. Also, the state chairman and zonal executives also will emerge. And so it is the National Working Committee of the Action Democratic Party here today.
Oh, okay, Charles. You are the one right there. The mood of both the aspirants and the delegates, from what you said, have been understood as well. But then, can you tell us what may likely to be the duration of all of these as we count down tonight to the end of the convention?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think the screening aspect of it that was supposed to add to the time that will be taken here, and it has already been the ADP, the Action Democratic Secretariat. So we expect a fast process here tonight, and so by the time this convention eventually takes off, we are hoping that everything will move smoothly and faster.
All right, thank you, Charles. Thanks indeed. Now, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahamudu Yakubu, says the new voter authentication system technological innovation adopted for conduct of elections in Nigeria will guarantee credible and acceptable elections. Professor Yakubu disclosed this while monitoring mock accreditation in Ekiti State ahead of the governorship election. Kola Adebobuyi reports.
The ambience depicts that of election, but it is not. It is a mock accreditation for eligible voters in Ekiti State, organized by INEC to fine-tune its arrangements for the crucial 18th governorship election in the state. The mock accreditation was conducted in selected polling units in Ado-Ekiti, Igede-Ekiti, and Ikere-Ekiti to prepare voters for the D-Day.
It's a welcome development to all political parties in Nigeria for us to have a test of what we are expecting on June 18 in Ekiti State.
And in less than 10 minutes, the thing has been going on smoothly.
With less than 20 days to the election, INEC chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu says it is important to smoothen and strengthening arrangements to achieve a successful exercise, hence the mock accreditation through voter authentication system, a technological innovation adopted to guarantee credible and accessible elections.
From the commission, you can see that we are leaving no stone unturned in order to be ready for the election. My visit to Ekiti this time around is part of our readiness. As far as INEC preparations for the election are concerned, we are happy with the tremendous progress we have made so far.
The INEC chairman and other top officials of the commission inspected facilities at some of the commission's local government offices in the state. INEC enjoins members of the public to collect their voters card and ensure they vote for the candidates of their choice without fear, as the commission is intensifying efforts to tackle vote buying to enhance the credibility of the governorship election. In Ado-Ekiti, Kola Adebobuyi, NT News.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arraigned the former governor of Imo State, Rochas Okorocha, and 6 others before the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja. Okorocha and 6 others are standing trial on an alleged 2.9 billion naira fraud. Dela Atumbi reports.
Rochas Okorocha, a senator representing Imo West Senatorial District, Hanyim Shineye, and 5 companies are the defendants in the 2.9 billion naira alleged fraud. The defendants are standing trial on 17 counts charge preferred against them in January 2022. The defendant pleaded not guilty to all the counts. Okorocha and 6 others have been alleged of diverting 2.9 billion naira from Imo State Government House account and that of Imo State Local Government Joint Project accounts to private companies. The alleged fraud was said to have been perpetrated by Okorocha and one Anyim Chineye with the use of their private companies between 2014 and 2016 when he had sway as the governor of Imo State. After the plea of the defendant, prosecution counsel Bola Latono told the court of the readiness of the prosecution to go into trial. He informed the court that the prosecution intends to call 13 to 14 witnesses in the matter. Presiding judge, Justice Ian Eko, fixed November 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, 2022 for the day-to-day trial of the matter. Lead counsel to Okorocha as the first defendant, OK Amechi SAN, told the court that he had filed application for bail of his client and had also served same on the FCC. The prosecution counsel, however, orally opposed the applications for bail of all the defendants in the matter and told the court that the prosecution intended to file counter affidavit. The bail application is expected to be argued on Tuesday, 31st May 2022.
So we have applied for bail because it's entitled to bail. If it's served and it didn't appear, that will the court will issue a warrant for his arrest, but it was not served.
Justice Eko subsequently ordered Okorocha's further detention till May 31 when his bail application will be argued. Okorocha was arrested last week at his residence in Abuja, having allegedly refused to appear in court to take his plea. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
Network news continues shortly after these messages. To stay with the NTA. Welcome back. The All Progressives Congress standard bearer for Katsina South Senatorial District and Chairman Muntari Dantuse says his emergence is the result of wide consultation with stakeholders. He emphasized that APC will continue to prioritize people-friendly policies in 2023 and beyond.
The House member, who since 2015 has been the voice of the people of Fontua Dandume Federal Constituency of Katsina State in the Green Chamber, while consulting with the ruling party stakeholders in Katsina South, was optimistic that APC remains the party to beat in view of its infrastructure development across the country. He said the upcoming national convention to produce the party's presidential candidate will be successfully and peacefully conducted. He thanked his constituents for their support and pledged to deliver if eventually given the mandate at the 2023 general elections.
As a senator, what we are hoping is that what he has done in the Puntua constituency is going to be replicated across the local governments in Puntua senatorial zone. We are expecting him to do more better than Puntua can do.
He won the Katsina South Senatorial primary with 405 votes.
Dr. Ifeanyi Chukwuma Odi has been declared winner of the governorship primary of the People's Democratic Party in Ebonyi State. The Secretary of Ebonyi State Governorship Committee, Olaleko Rotimi, made the declaration at the PDP Secretariat in Abakaliki. Kanayo Koro monitored the primaries and now reports.
The governorship primary of the People's Democratic Party commenced with accreditation of 384 ad hoc delegates drawn from the 13 council areas of the state, who subsequently cast their ballots under the watchful eyes of INEC officials and security agencies. After sorting and counting of delegate votes, Dr. Ifeanyi Chukwuma Odi, who pulled 349 out of 384 delegate votes, was declared the winner and returned elected to fly the flag of the People's Democratic Party in Ebonyi State.
I hereby declare Dr. Ifeanyi Chukwuma as the winner of this PDP primaries in Abakaliki.
Expressing joy for the victory, Dr. Odi pledged not to disappoint the party, stressing that if he becomes victorious in 2023 general elections, he will work for the benefit of Ebonyi people. The state chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Silas Ono, expressed satisfaction following the peaceful conduct of the exercise. In Abakaliki, Kana Yokoro, NTA News.
Away from politics, President Muhammadu Buhari congratulates Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun on the occasion of his 62nd birthday. The president joins family, friends and well-wishers in praying for God's continuous grace, guidance, strength and wisdom for the governor, who is a shining example of a leader who works around the clock to meet the expectations of his people. The president recognizes the important contributions that the governor of this gateway state has made and continues to make in national development and trusts that the celebration of another birth year in health and joy will continue to inspire him to do more for a better future for Ogun people and Nigerians. Now, the Minister of Women Affairs, Dame Pauline Talent, says they just concluded the political party primaries in Nigeria was another opportunity for the number of women vying for elected positions ahead of 2023 general elections to garner support for women in politics in Nigeria, which unfortunately did not materialize. Dame Tarling, however, congratulated women who have succeeded in spite of big odds. She singled out Senator Aisha Dahiru Ahmed Binani, who clinched the governorship candidature of the All Progressives Congress in Adamawa State. She commended all women who committed their resources to pick nomination forms or supported their counterparts to do the same in encouraging women in politics. The minister urged women to keep hope alive in Nigeria's democratic space. May 29, 2020 makes it 7 years that the All Progressives Congress has been in power under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari. In this report, Musa Aliyu takes a look at agriculture under the APC administration.
To an average smallholder farmer, democracy might mean nothing if there is no conducive environment to plant and harvest. He, however, relied on government to provide farming inputs such as fertilizer to improve his yield. Ibrahim here narrates most of the challenges smallholder farmers like him were facing in accessing fertilizer in 2014. Fertilizer used to be a major challenge to us, he says. These and other challenges were inherited by the APC administration when they took over the mantle of leadership in 2015. Nigeria's food import bill was higher, while revenue to import was declining as a result of dwindling oil revenue. The policies and programs introduced by the Buhari-led administration did not only solve most of the challenges, but also reshaped agricultural activities in the country.
The vision of President Muhammadu Buhari is for a food secure Nigeria. He has come with a vision and he asks Nigerians to follow. And we as a common Nigerian farmers have keyed into his vision and we have succeeded.
The country that was importing major staples in the last decades now becomes a major producer and exporter of grains and vegetables, courtesy of the Anchor Growers program.
The Anchor Growers program was designed to encourage investments in agriculture and empower smallholder farmers and drivers of transformation in the agricultural sector and as critical enablers of economic growth.
Investigation further revealed that access to fertilizer under the presidential initiative led to the increase of yield of farmers. More than 60 million bags of fertilizer were produced and sold to farmers under the initiative, while 62 blending plants were resuscitated.
The base production in 2015, it was only 8 million tons in Nigeria. Now, as at last year, we have produced over 20 million tons.
The success story includes the production and introduction of high-yielding variety of seeds that is currently boosting farmers' output in the country.
I would like to thank Mr. President for he is the one that introduces research grant to the agency in 2016.
The administration has successfully lifted millions of smallholder farmers out of poverty. Musa Aliyu, NTA News.
Now we join Lagos studio and Michael will be our guide. Over to you, Michael.
Thank you, Kene. The Western Marine Command of the Nigeria Customs Service is warning criminals and those intending to tow the path of smuggling to stay off its area of responsibility, as the agency has deployed necessary mechanisms to guide against such lawlessness. The new area controller Abubakar Umar gave the warning at his maiden press briefing in Lagos.
Although the waterways offer alternative for mobility, it is becoming an escape route for smugglers. One of the key functions of the Western Marine Command of the Nigeria Customs Service is to nip this trend in the bud. And since the new area controller Abubakar Alhaji Umar came on board in February this year, there have been changes in direction geared towards putting the customs miles ahead of smugglers. These items are products of strategic mapping and surveying around the waters, and on the 30th of March, one of the wooden boats here was intercepted at Okunaja Beach, conveying 2,520 pieces of cannabis with street value of 168 million naira.
We will continue to engage the traditional institution, the community leaders through custom community relation and members of the press to address smuggling activities in the axis, as well as engage in intensive patrols and surveillance of our creeks and waterways.
Between April and May, 2 boats were seized and more than 800 bags of rice intercepted along Badagry waterways and Oniru Beach while transporting smuggled rice from Benin Republic.
A warning to the smugglers: stay away from our waterways and creeks. We have enabling laws, we have the ability, we have the political will, and we have the strength to stop smuggling to its barest minimum.
Despite the huge seizures, no arrest was made, as some of the suspects either escaped through the creek or dived into the water, but the Western Marine Command of the Nigeria Customs Service says its searchlight is still on the trail of the criminals.
The fleet recapitalization effort of the Nigerian Navy is on a steady course with the arrival of a new landing ship tank, NNS Kada, in Lagos after a successful maiden voyage. At a reception for the ship, Chief of the Naval Staff Vice Admiral Awa Gambo says the acquisition of the defense vessel will enhance effective protection of the nation's economic maritime domain. Adenita reports.
I am standing on the main deck of NNS Kada, the newest addition to the Nigerian Navy naval fleet. The early morning sun was still bathing the waters when the ship, having completed a voyage of 8,414 nautical miles, arrived the shores of Lagos into the waiting hands of the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo.
Receiving the ship and her crew at the jetty of the Western Naval Command, Lagos,
Vice Admiral Awagambo said induction of NNS cadre into the Nigerian Navy fleet will not only enhance the nation's deterrence capability against maritime crimes and illegalities within our domain and Gulf of Guinea, but also serve as a force multiplier to project power and respond to humanitarian crisis.
Like you know, the International Maritime Bureau has delisted Nigeria from piracy prone countries on the 3rd of March this year, and we must continue to sustain effort to maintain the feat so far achieved.
Global best practices demand that at least 40% of the cost of this ship should be made available for yearly maintenance, and that has to be appropriated by the National Assembly.
The maiden voyage, which emanated from Buhari Diamond Shipyard, Sharjah, United Arab Emirates, lasted about 56 days at sea with 5 port calls en route.
It has been wonderful, remarkable, and very rewarding. You can see the morale of the ship company very high, and we are looking forward to what comes next.
A multi-purpose landing ship tank, man of war NNS cadre, is acquired as a replacement for NNS Ambe and NNS Ophium, 2 defense ships recommissioned about 10 years ago in Lagos. Adini Itaiwo, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Time for some messages. The news continues shortly. Please stay.
Welcome back. Oil climbs ahead of European Union meeting on Russia sanctions as equities markets begin the week on a bearish note. Musa Abubakar brings us up to speed with details on business news.
Thank you, Kene. OPEC has said Nigeria and Angola are responsible for the vast majority of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries supply shortfall that is helping to sustain high global oil prices. OPEC in a statement says above ground issues including theft and sabotage continue to contribute to a large deficit from the 2 sub-Saharan oil giants. Data suggests that Nigeria and Angola together account for almost all of the 660,000 barrels per day shortfalls in supply from the OPEC ground in April, and a significant proportion of the shortfall from the wider OPEC Plus group. Meanwhile, oil prices rose to 2-month highs on Monday as traders waited to see if the European Union will reach an agreement on banning Russian oil ahead of a meeting on 6th package of sanctions against Moscow for its invasion of Ukraine. Reuters reports that Brent crude futures gained 46 cents to $119.89 earlier, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures jumped 60 cents to $115.67 a barrel, extending solid gains from last week. Now it's a negative start on the Nigerian stock market as the NGX All Share Index depreciated this Monday by 0.58% at 53,772.14 index points. Market capitalization dropped to 28.9 trillion naira from 29.1 trillion naira in the previous session. 27.5 million shares were traded by investors in 4,586 deal valued at 194.35 billion naira. Union Bank Nigeria PLC, Transcorp and Access Holding PLC are the most traded stocks at the end of the trading session. That's business news. The news continues with Kenny.
Thank you, Busa. The final journey to complete automation of operations of the Nigeria Customs Service has begun with the signing of Modernization Project Concession Agreement in Abuja. The Comptroller General of the service, Hamid Ali, disclosed that Nigeria will earn $176 billion within the concession period. Kunle Adeye reports.
With the dotted line signed, manual operations will soon become history at customs entry points. Customs is already elated with the benefits of the 20-year plan.
Human factor, which is one of our things in the course of doing business, will now be removed. And doing that will not only enhance the process, but also sanitize the process. By the time we fully implement this project, minimum we will be making for this country will be about 176 billion dollars.
For various partners involved in the agreement, Nigeria is displaying readiness for global trade, which will eventually ease export and simplify import matters.
ICRC, who is statutory charged with the responsibility, will keep on monitoring the program and ensure that both parties abide by the terms and conditions of the agreement. We have put implementation process in place. We are setting up a small subcommittee consisting of Nigerian Customs Service, who are we, and we have the finance in place, which is very important.
We are committed to the project. We want to make sure that all deliverables that can be complete.
The Federal Executive Council gave approval for full automation of Nigeria Customs Service on September 2, 2020. The Comptroller General, however, allayed fears that the automation will slash the workforce, insisting that the service is in need of more hands. Kunle Adeyeye, NTA News.
The Federal Road Safety Corps is adopting a new approach in mitigating the surge of auto crash on Nigerian roads. This came to the fore at the Corps' 8th valedictory lecture series. Abubakar Akwanga reports.
The Federal Road Safety Corps has remained steadfast in auto crash risk reduction strategy with the deployment of digital infrastructure. And to ease the administration of road management, those in the business of ensuring road safety are introducing uniform licensing scheme to enhance safety and security on the road.
The general acceptance of our driving license alone in Europe and other parts of the world is a great achievement. Governments from time to time are able to introduce measures to monitor and track those who use vehicles and who obtain driver's license to ensure that there is sanity in the society.
The Corps Marshal Dr. Boboyo Oyemi says the Corps will continue to partner relevant agencies to change the perception of Nigerians in thinking and acting safe on the road.
Through our zeal, the determination, the dexterity, the industry, the integrity and the honesty, we have been able to build an institution. And that institution is the Federal Road Safety Corps today.
Other senior officers of the Corps are also in high spirit to initiate and enforce innovative strategies that will entrench comfort on the Nigerian road. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
More news when we return. Stay with us. 4 persons have been injured following an explosion that rocked a drinking spot at Okebadi in Kaba, Kogi State, Sunday night. Jonathan Omajali reports that the explosion is suspected to have been caused by an improvised explosive device. This is coming 3 weeks after a similar incident which claimed 2 lives.
A palpable sense of uneasiness hangs over the community. 3 weeks, 2 explosions, all at a drinking joint. As residents mill around the spot to get a view of the damage, there's a sense of worry, a growing concern if this is the new normal in a community where explosions such as this was once alien.
Just about 4 minutes past 9 yesterday night was when we had this blast. Well, sad as it is, and the first thing was to call the law enforcement agencies, and I'm so glad that they responded swiftly. There were no fatalities, but I think we got about 4 injuries.
Omofemi Oyehua, the owner of Paradise Center where the explosion occurred, is grateful to God that no life was lost. On 11th of this month, a similar explosion claimed 2 lives. Security personnel and EOD technicians have visited the area and the owner of the affected center. Residents are hoping they will do more in terms of beefing up security in the community.
It's becoming too much. The government should help us do something about it.
The situation is so pathetic.
As the nation witnesses 7th year of the present administration, Abdul Malik Hassan takes a look at strides in the education sector so far.
Quite some time now, all eyes are on the education sector, and the reason is not far-fetched.
as it is considered as the foundation of human development. As such, the Nigerian government has spared no efforts to ensure that the sector performs optimally. Let's start with the basic education sector. Information shows that the intervention body as at April 2022 disbursed roughly 525 billion naira as intervention fund to the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory through its various programs. About 27 million pupils have also been enrolled into school.
And I think going forward and with the determination of the president, particularly after the GPE meeting in London, is that we are very certain that a brighter future awaits the basic education sector.
Currently, the Universal Basic Education Commission is also at the verge of conducting another round of national personnel audit for basic education institutions for the purpose of obtaining comprehensive and reliable data on children of school age, qualifications and bioinformation of teaching and non-teaching staff to better improve the subsector, just as it partners with Council of Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN, to monitor matching ground intervention school projects in the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT for quality assurance.
We need to see how the little money available for the development of infrastructure should be effectively utilized to ensure that at least we have added value to the infrastructure that we have within the classrooms.
The National Senior Secondary Education Commission was also established to better improve the capacity of senior secondary schools in Abuja. Abdul Malik Hassan, NTA News.
Let's now join Cynthia Ogun for sports update.
Aftermath of the Super Eagles 1-2 loss to Mexico in the first